Hello and welcome to our monthly High Vibe Tribe video book reviews with members from the Mind, Body, Spirit Network. And we just have one member here today. Everyone is still on summer vacation. We in fact didn't even do an August one. No one was like around for August, which is totally fine. They weren't around for August last year either. I'm like, oh, we're just going to take a break in August like the French do, or the Europeans, right? So every month we get together and some of our members that are available come and share some of their favorite reads in the mind, body, spirit, health realm. And today I have an awesome book to share, and so does Liz. So Liz, I'm going to let you go first. Did I see a little dog head in there? Is your dog in there with you? Oh, you're on mute. There you go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he's here.
I thought I saw a little head poking out. All right, so what do you get? First, share yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, who you help.
All right. Yes, I'm Liz Bigger, and I'm the owner of Butterfly Healing and Wellness. And I help my clients heal to where anything and everything is possible. I help men and women, and I use Reiki, crystals, a little bit of aromatherapy, and sound to aid in their healing. And a lot of times my clients end up with spiritual awakenings and big breakthroughs, as well as just healing any types of physical issues or, depression, that kind of thing. So,
nice. So you've introduced tuning forks?
I'm in Stafford, Virginia. Oh, yeah. Well, I've been continuing to work with them. I took Eileen McCusick's class. It wasn't a certification class, but it really, really broke me open as far as how to use them. And I've just been working with them in my intuition. And yeah, they're very, very healing, very powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful.
So are you experiencing the feeling that she has, or starting to get a feel for when you come up to tangled light or tangled energy?
I do. I don't get exactly what she gets, because I think it all comes to us however we can understand it, like our messages and our intuition. But I hear the shift, like when I get into an issue for someone. And she does have that beautiful chart where she's basically mapped out the biofield.
Yeah.
So if I don't get a hit psychically or intuitively as to what that is, I do refer to the chart that she has. And yeah, and then I talk with the client and see if that resonates. And a lot of times it does. A lot of times it absolutely resonates. But I am getting to the point where I'm getting the messages of what that is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now, did you get into her second course as well, or just the first one?
I've only done the first one. I was going to do the second one, but then all the moving started.
Right.
Yes.
Nice.
So I'm settled now, so I can get back into it. But yeah, I was a little chaotic there for August was rough for me too. Yeah. So I was on vacation. I just was moving everywhere.
All right. So what's your book today?
So today I brought this, and during the course of all this moving, I saw this book. I heard of this book on Gaia TV. It's called the Pendulum Instruction Chart Book. And I use my pendulum for everything. And Liz, through everything I've been through in this last year, it's been a lot. And to guide me, I've used my pendulum. And so I brought my pendulum just to show everybody. So I have a beautiful crystal pendulum. It's all the different crystals that go with the chakras. And I really have usually I just do yes or no questions, so I just get the yes or no. I was reminded by watching the Gaia show that the pendulum can actually give you very detailed information, but you have to do it a certain way, and you have to ask certain questions, and it's kind of a guide. And this book, that's what this book is all about. It talks about how, first of all, it talks about how the pendulum works, and how it taps into your intuition, how it taps into your deep knowing that's underneath your rational and conscious mind. It actually works, to me, it works very similarly to muscle testing.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's tuned into, your deep intuition and your deep truths, things that your logic and your ego won't let you get to. So It really taps into, what's in your heart versus what's going on in your head and what people will think and all those things. It really cuts through all of that. And it talks about how it works. You know, it's a very ancient form of finding information and understanding information. It talks about how to get the answers, yes or no, and it has a bunch of different exercises, which I thought were really fun because I actually had kind of already done a lot of those myself.
Yeah.
And these little exercises, you know, show me yes and show me no and those kinds of things, because you have to get to know your pendulum when you get it. And it's usually very similar for most people that I've seen, but I will say that everyone is individual. And so if you buy a pendulum, it also tells you how to pick a pendulum, which I thought was really interesting because I gravitated to this one because it's the colors of the chakras and it's the stones.
It's a pretty one.
Yeah, I'm really into the crystals and I'm really into the chakras. It just, you know, totally drew me to it. But you know, there's wooden ones, there's metal ones, there's crystal ones, there's stone ones. My Shimpadin, my teacher for Reiki, he has a little goddess, silver goddess doll statue on a necklace.
Yeah.
And that's what he uses. So it tells you how you can choose one. But the really cool thing I thought was that it also went into things that I hadn't thought of. I kind of intuitively knew, but I, you know, like when I'm talking to other people or teaching them how to use their intuition, because I really do strive to get my clients to start to hear their intuition, to get still, and because that's what's going to guide them to health. You know, the Reiki clears them and it does wonderful things and it's a beautiful healing thing. But day to day, like decisions that they have to make day to day, what's good for them, what's not good for them, I really want them to start hearing their intuition themselves. So I've had actually several clients ask me about pendulum, and I tell them what I know. But this book is really good step by step. Like you get your pendulum, this is how you choose it. Here's some exercises that you can use. I'm sorry about that. And how you can do that. And so I'm gonna recommend this book because I really do like it. It also goes into things that can get in the way of getting answers from your pendulum. And this is something, like I said, I already intuitively knew this because I do Reiki, and in Reiki, you have to get still. Like there's principles that you need to live by. You know, if you're all stressed out or you have a resentment against someone, or if you're angry or anything, you're not going to get a good answer. That's an interference. Yeah. And so it talks about some of the things that interfere, mental and emotional things that can interfere. But it also talks about how you can clear that. And it has this little section that's like, it's a personal inventory. So if you're in a place to be really honest with yourself, you can go through this inventory and see how clear you are and see if there's something that you need to work on. It also gives you breathing techniques and different things that you can do to help clear yourself. And some of these breathing techniques I haven't heard of, I thought were really good. I mean, they have the normal ones like the breath of fire, and they don't call it that, but like it's like a breath of fire. It's, you know, the deep in, deep out cleansing. But it actually has some other ones. This one that I thought was really cool. You take a deep breath in, and then you let a quarter of it out, and then you just let the rest flow out very naturally. And you almost can't even feel it going out, but you know it's out because you feel the need to breathe in again.
Right.
It's really interesting. And during that time, it does work. You get very clear. And then the very best thing I found for this is the whole back of it is charts.
Oh.
These are charts that you can print off.
You're blocking your voice there, Liz. What did you
I'm
say?
sorry. So these are charts you can print off.
Yeah.
Write on them, and like, because I always find it very important to document my questions when I ask the pendulum a question. And I don't ask the question over and over again until I get the answer I want.
Right.
And I don't ask, you know, I try not to ask the same question more than once. But I do document every question I ask, because sometimes I'll have the same question again and I'll be like, did I ask that question? So then I'll check my notes first and before I ask the question again. And sometimes I need to reword the question. And that was the really cool thing about this book that they pointed out, is that a lot of times you get more out of the questions that you're asking than you get out of the answers.
Right.
Like the way you ask the question and the type of things you're curious about is very telling. It's very interesting to delve into that as well as just the answer that it's giving you.
So, Liz, quick question. In applied kinesiology, you're supposed to just make a statement. Do you make a statement or do you ask a question? So instead of asking a question, you state something and then you'll get yes or no. Or do you ask a question?
You actually ask the question.
Okay.
But I'm learning, and I always ask like a yes or no question.
Right.
Like when I was, I actually did it, and you know, this is kind of personal, but I did it when I was getting my divorce.
Yeah.
Like I asked my pendulum, when is a good time for me to ask for a divorce? And there was a moment where I was like, I felt it in my gut, kind of like, this is the time to ask the question. And so I asked the pendulum, is this the time to ask for my divorce? And it said yes. And so then that scared me. So I said, can I do it tomorrow? And it said no.
Oh.
So and at that moment, I just, you know, I've learned that when my intuition speaks, like I got to do it, even if it's something that big.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd done a little muscle testing on it before that too. I mean, I've gotten completely led through that whole process. But that was the linchpin. That was when I was like, okay, well, it's time right now. So I really do ask the question. The thing that you have to be careful with too when asking it is, it's just like anything else when you're doing intuitive work. It's kind of a snapshot into where you are right now.
Right.
So if something changes in like tomorrow, something totally changes, your perception changes, the situation completely changes, the answer could change, you know. But like I said, I try not to ask the exact same question again. So based on whatever's changed, the question will change. But like I said, I was just asking yes or no questions, but you can actually do, and I want to say that even in like what you like, the consciousness of
Right.
everything, like you could feasibly put it all down and like do consciousness testing on things.
Right. Make a chart.
Yeah, you could make a chart like
Yeah.
this. Like you did muscle testing, you could do that with this, and that's kind of what these charts are about. So it's like, here's one. It's like if you need to take supplements, so you put the pendulum over the chart, and it'll go to wherever it swings.
Yeah.
That's the supplement that you need.
Do you think you could give a demonstration there, Liz?
I thought about that. I might be able to. The only thing that I would think is that it has to be a serious question, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
Right.
Or not.
Well, if you hold it off against the wall, or does it have to be close to your hand usually when you do it?
Yeah, I usually do it like this.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if it doesn't work, then
No, it's okay.
It's just because it's
I do like, my name is Liz Bigger, yes or no?
Oh, well, you know, I've actually done that one, so that's always an interesting question. And for me, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but for me, yes is this way.
Okay.
And no is that way. So maybe I can stand up.
Yeah, if you stand up, that's good. You can at least show, that's good. We can see that.
You may not be able to see yes as well.
Can't hear you so well.
I got this question before. So, is my name Liz?
I can see it starting to move for sure.
Yeah. That's no.
Oh.
That's no. And that's another thing. When you start listening to your intuition,
yeah,
almost the first second that it actually hits no, like you know that. Because my name is not Liz Bigger. My name Elizabeth Bigger. I give it a second. So it was swinging yes, and I just wanted to give it a second. Is my name Elizabeth Bigger? See, that's yes.
Okay.
I was afraid you wouldn't be able to see yes because it's going at you.
That's okay. But I mean, I think people can get it. It takes practice to work with. It
does. And it's interesting because all these things that I've been doing, pulling cards and using my pendulum, it's a medium to get to something that's already in there. And the more I do it, the more I practice with these things, and the more I get the feeling of what my intuition feels like when my intuition is saying yes or no to things or leading me to things. It just gets me so much more in tune with my intuition. And I feel like I'm on a path to actually grow out of the mediums. I'm
Right.
actually getting to a point where I'm getting messages. Like sometimes I just do it because if it's like small day-to-day things, but if it's a bigger thing, like I'll check back with my pendulum or I'll pull a card just to verify what my gut is telling me.
Right.
But the deeper I get, knowing my intuition and knowing what yes feels like inside my body, inside my gut, and what no feels like inside my body, I just get even farther and farther. The best thing about the mediums is that it's very definitive, and when it's a big decision or a big question, it's just really great to have that, for me, to have that extra affirmation
Right.
that my gut is telling me the right thing.
Cool.
So,
All right. So show us the book again and tell us who wrote it.
I'm sorry.
The Doorway to Knowing Your Intuitive Mind. Cool. And who's the author? Oh, Dale W. Olson. Okay.
Yeah, I know I blocked my voice because my microphone is not
That's
here.
okay.
So
Cool.
yeah, so yeah, I've just been having a lot of fun with that book. In the midst of everything else that's going on, I have to have my little moments of connection and
Nice.
spirituality.
All right. Well, I have a great book. This is more of a story, but it's like a combination book. It's called Up a Tree, and it was written by Jane Burns, who I interviewed a few weeks ago. And she's a Celtic shamanic practitioner. And she's an excellent storyteller. And I was like totally engaged with our interview. And this was one of the most viewed interviews ever. And I even said to her at the beginning, I don't even know what Celtic shamanism is. Do people like it? She's like, oh yeah. She was all confident. Of course they do. And then I see all this web traffic to our interview on YouTube and Facebook, everywhere. Tons of interest in what she's doing. And she's a great storyteller. And she's a shamanic practitioner. She does some soul retrieval work. And I'm kind of getting fascinated with the whole shamanic journeying. Are you familiar with that, Liz?
I am. I actually did some journeying. My Shimpadin in Reiki is also a shaman.
Oh, okay.
We got to a point, we did some journeying. I got to go back and meet my inner child. It's very, very powerful. Very powerful stuff. Mm-hmm.
So do you know who Sandra Ingerman is then?
I don't. The Celtic, he's Native American shamanic tradition.
Oh, okay.
So the Celtic is just fascinating to me because I'm Scots-Irish and those are my people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very interested, but I don't know a lot about it now.
Okay. Well, Sandra Ingerman, she trained Jane. And Sandra's been around for a long time, and people that know her and have taken her training, like she's amazing, so loving. Like when I interviewed her, we just wanted to have a love fest the whole time. And she's like, let's do it again. I'm like, yes, we will. So she's got another event coming up in October or November or something. So we're going to have another interview, but I just adored her. So I wasn't really into the whole shamanic thing until I read Jane's book. And what's cool about her book is she's a great storyteller, for one. But the main character in the book is this woman whose husband just died. She has 2 kids, and she's dealing with the fallout of it. And she's going back to her shamanic practitioner roots. So she's describing going on shamanic journeys to speak to her power animals, her spirit guides, the whole 9 yards. And I have to ask her, but I assume that these guys can all actually see and feel tree spirits, nature fairies, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. But so the book itself is a great read. I read it like in a week, if that. And typically I fall asleep because I read it in bed, but I wanted to read it, and it's really good. And at the back of the book, she has a lesson, a handbook on how to take your first shamanic journey and meet your power animals. There's some intentional stuff you need to do. And I haven't gone through all of these yet. Oh, there's a bunch of lessons. I haven't gone deep enough into this. I'm just noticing there's like 10 lessons. All right, I need to go a little deeper. But that's such a cool thing that in addition to sharing what she does as a shamanic practitioner and journeyer, she then has all these 10 or 11 or 12, 10 lessons in the back of the book I'm like, super cool. So it's called Up a Tree, a Novel and Shamanic Handbook, written by Jane Burns. And if you Google interview with Jane Burns, Celtic shamanic practitioner, something like that, you'll see our interview. So that's it for our book shares this week. And I've been meeting a lot of cool people that I'm interviewing, Liz. So I'm like buying their books and I'm loving them.
I was actually listening to your interview this morning with Tree Franklin.
Oh, I just did her yesterday.
Yes, I'm like, I got the email and I was like, hey, I'm unpacking. I'll just turn that on. And she's amazing. Amazing the way she came to what she's doing.
Yeah.
Coaching and yeah.
So her Shift Network event's coming up on Saturday, which is a freebie for people to listen in. And she talks about the 4 stages of kind of spiritual awakening for empaths. If you don't know if you're an empath or not, and you feel like you're lost in this world and have overwhelm. Are you an empath, Liz? You must be.
I am.
Yeah.
I absolutely am. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and like 20% of the world is an empath or a highly sensitive person, which is interesting to know. Mm-hmm. But her workshop is going to talk about the 4 stages. So if you're a newbie and you're just realizing this might be why I have suffering going on, because I don't know how to deal with myself. So she's got 4 stages wherever you're at in the process. If you're just a newbie, will be stage 1. Then there's a 2nd stage, 3rd, and 4th. And she's going to talk about that in her upcoming event, what that's all about. So anyway, she's a cutie pie. I love her name, Tree.
I do too. I was like, did she pick that or?
Wow, I didn't ask her. So anyway, check that out, you guys. And next month, hopefully we'll have all of our members back from summer vacation and we'll have a nice little powwow and conversation. But Liz, I thank you for joining us today. And if you guys like what we're doing, you can subscribe to our podcast at highvibetriberadio.com. This will be on the podcast once a month. Or our YouTube channel at highvibetribetv.com. And of course, our website is the mindbodyspiritnetwork.com. And if you need some good Reiki healing, chakra balancing, chakra reading, Liz Bigger is your gal. And she'll do a little pendulum work for you too. I've had her do that for me. And we got some great insights doing that. So that's another part of her service. If you just need some help with some insights into where you're at, where's your energy at, she can help you with that as well. And you can find Liz Bigger at the mindbodyspiritnetwork.com/Liz-Bigger. And I'll put this on the bottom of the video when I edit it so you YouTubers can see how to get a hold of her. And we'll have links to all the books. If you want to go buy the books, we'll have links there too. And I thank you everyone for joining us. And Liz, I thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you for putting this together.
My pleasure.